5 household items that can restore foggy headlights, ranked from the one that will destroy your car to the one professional detailers trust. All 5 cost under $3, but only one gives you back your headlights without taking something worse in return. Before the ranking, you need to understand what's happening to that plastic. For more than 40 years, federal law forced every American car to use sealed beam glass headlamps. These heavy, standardized units limited what designers could do and made replacements expensive. That changed on July 1st, 1983, when the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration rewrote the rules. The amendment to FMVSS 108, published in the Federal Register, allowed headlamps with replaceable bulbs and non-glass lenses, as long as the whole assembly met strict standards for light output and durability. BMW of North America and Ezon Products quickly pushed for clarity, and NHTSA confirmed that if the lamp as a whole passed the test, manufacturers could use new materials and shapes. Letters from Racemark, Ezon, Casey Highlights, and Hella North America show how hard the industry lobbied for this freedom. The payoff arrived with the 1984 Lincoln Mark VII, the first U.S. production car since 1939 to hit the market with a replaceable bulb polycarbonate headlamp. The modern plastic lens was never a given. It was a calculated trade-off between style, must, and long-term performance. Automakers did not switch to polycarbonate for looks alone. The material weighs about 30% less than automotive glass, roughly 1.2 grams per cubic centimeter, and it shrugs off rocks and debris thanks to a tensile strength of 60 to 70 megapascals. Polycarbonate resists impacts that would shatter glass while staying optically clear enough for precise beam patterns. On its own, the plastic yellows in clouds within a few years under ultraviolet rays. To fight this, every headlight leaves the factory with a silica-based hard coat just a fraction of a millimeter thick. This layer is loaded with ultraviolet absorbers like benzotriazole and with stabilizers known as hindered amine light stabilizers. The hard coat performs 3 jobs at once. It shields the lens from scratches, it blocks ultraviolet light below 400 nanometers, and it seals out solvents that could attack the plastic. Typical coatings measure 30 to 45 micrometers thick, and they last 6 to 8 years before breaking down. Once the hard coat fails, whether from age, road grit, or harsh cleaners, the polycarbonate is exposed. That is when the chemistry turns against you. Ultraviolet light triggers a reaction called the photo-Fries rearrangement. In plain language, sunlight snaps the polymer chains, rearranging them into yellow-stained molecules that soak up blue light and turn the lens cloudy. This is not just superficial damage. The yellowing comes from inside the plastic, and it accelerates every time the protective layer is thinned or stripped away. That is why some do-it-yourself tricks, instead of saving your headlights, actually make the problem worse by removing what little defense remains. December 2018. AAA takes a set of factory original headlights, each with more than a decade on the road, and puts them head-to-head against brand new units in a certified lab. These are not cherry-picked failures, just everyday lamps from 2 popular sedans, aged about 11 years, pulled straight from real cars. Each assembly is measured for light output using a calibrated integrating sphere, the same tool used by automakers to certify compliance with federal safety standards. The result lands like a punch. Those cloudy, yellowed lenses deliver just 22% of the illumination that a new headlight provides. Not 22% less, 22% total. That is an 80% drop in usable light hitting the road. Greg Brannon, who leads automotive engineering for AAA, spells out what that means. A 22% loss of illumination is not a trivial number. It can mean the difference between seeing a pedestrian in time and missing them altogether. This is not about faded plastic or a dingy look in the driveway. It is about whether your headlights are doing their job, lighting the road far enough ahead to avoid disaster. For millions of drivers, that number is not just a statistic. It is the line between making it home and never seeing what is coming. Night driving already asks more of every driver. But on American roads, the numbers reveal just how unforgiving the darkness can be. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's 2021 analysis found that 77% of all pedestrian deaths happened in dark or low-light conditions. That is not a minor detail. It is the overwhelming majority, and the problem has only grown worse. After adjusting for how much people drive, fatal pedestrian crashes at night rose 84% between 2010 and 2023. These are not rare accidents or statistical blips. The risk is everywhere, every night. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, puts a clear number to the danger. Night driving is 3 times riskier than driving during the day. Matthew Brumbelow, an engineer at IIHS, explains that reduced headlamp output, fatigue, and limited peripheral vision combine to make nighttime a hazard multiplier. Dim headlights do not just make it harder to see, they make it harder to react, to judge distance, to spot a person crossing the street before it is too late. Cloudy lenses are not just a cosmetic nuisance. They take an already dangerous environment and make it even more unforgiving. For millions of drivers, the difference between a clear lens and a fogged one is measured not just in feet, but in lives. The numbers make it clear. Restoring headlight performance is not about looks, it is about survival. DEET bug spray tops the list as the worst so-called fix for foggy headlights. The hack goes viral every summer for a reason. Spray on, wipe off, and the lens looks instantly clear. But the chemistry is working against you. DEET is a documented polycarbonate solvent. In 1987, the U.S. Army Materials Technology Laboratory classified DEET as an environmental stress-cracking agent for polycarbonate. That means it does not just clean the lens, it melts the surface, dissolving the hard coat and softening the plastic underneath. The cloudiness vanishes because you are wiping away the top layer of your headlight, not restoring it. Within days or weeks, the softened plastic develops microscopic fractures called crazing. The lens turns opaque white, and the damage is often permanent. DEET will take the car from you. Do not use it on your headlights. Whitening toothpaste lands one step higher, but only because it does less harm. This method has been around since the early days of online do-it-yourself. Toothpaste works through abrasion, hydrated silica particles, about 4 to 8 micrometers across, act like ultra-fine sandpaper. Rubbing it on the lens removes a thin layer of oxidized plastic and can make light haze disappear for a short time. Crest 3D White, for example, has an abrasivity rating of around 110. The catch's toothpaste also strips away what little remains of the factory ultraviolet coating. Any clarity you gain is temporary. Without sealing, headlights haze again in a month or 2. Toothpaste is a quick answer for tonight, not a real repair. You are renting clarity, not buying it. Baking soda and vinegar take their place above toothpaste, offering a low-cost, familiar fix that is easy to try but limited in effect. The fizzing reaction is more spectacle than substance, and it is the baking soda's mild abrasiveness that lifts haze from the lens. Results come quickly, but the clarity is thin and temporary. Vinegar's acetic acid can strip away what is left of the factory coating and soften rubber seals if used too often. So the risk of damage grows with repeated attempts. Without a UV sealant, the improvement fades within weeks. For about 50 cents, the clarity you gain is fleeting, a short-term rental, not a solution. Barkeeper's Friend stands out as the strongest of the under $3 shortcuts. Its feldspar, twice as hard as toothpaste silica, combines with oxalic acid to break down oxidation and polish the lens. Applied with a damp sponge, it clears moderate yellowing in under a minute. Results last 2 to 3 months without a sealant, or up to a year with a UV sealant. Both methods are cosmetic, not structural, offering visible improvement but no real restoration. Wet sanding, polishing, and sealing stands alone as the real fix for foggy headlights. This process does not just scrape away yellowed plastic or polish the surface for a quick shine. It rebuilds what matters most, the ultraviolet protection that keeps polycarbonate from breaking down in the first place. The method is straightforward but thorough. Start by masking off the paint, then wet sand the lens with progressively finer grits, working from coarse to ultra-fine. Each pass removes damaged layers, exposing fresh, clear polycarbonate underneath. After sanding, a dedicated plastic polish restores optical clarity. The most important step comes last, applying an ultraviolet-resistant sealant. Without this, the lens reoxidizes and haze returns in months. With it, the clarity can last years. The cost math is simple. The first time, expect to spend about $45 to $80 on sandpaper, polish, and a quality ultraviolet sealant. But each later job draws from the same supplies, dropping the cost under $5 per restoration. Professional shops charge between $75 and $250 for the same process. Skip the work and replace the entire headlight on a modern car with adaptive LED systems, and the bill can reach $1,300 to $3,000 per side. This approach is the only one that truly restores both the look and the function of your headlights. It is the difference between renting clarity for a few weeks and buying back years of safe driving. For anyone serious about night visibility, this is the path that delivers real, lasting results. Right now, millions of drivers use headlights that only look clear until rain, darkness, or a child crossing the road shows otherwise. Toothpaste and baking soda rent clarity. DEET will take the car from you. Only real ultraviolet protection buys safety. Your vision is not optional. Make it last.